the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Abusua ene ya maame suspended Chief Justice Torkonoo Sh0cks as Excellency John Dramani Mahama ene Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayeni ene deputy na ene saying yenyina yenim sem enche ana news bi ebabeto dwa say maame suspended Chief Justice Torkonoo afile case at the ECOWAS court ayo Nigeria Abuja na ninyina fa any suspension no hono na maame ejina nsem ba kumienu miensa bi so a odi ni case no akwakopie mu ode ECOWAS court wo Nigeria Abuja se omunka bi ma no na yehe ekwan a NDC amanyoko no eba abenwode ono Chief Justice Torkonoo nam square ma Excellency John Dramani Mahama a suspending na sebsebio entwayi enti edi ECOWAS court enkabi emano na ade bakone maame ejina so pa a ode case no ekopie mu ode ECOWAS court violating of human rights ya maame say NDC amanyoko no eba abem ice Excellency John Dramani Mahama apply the Supreme Court with NDC judges ninti ono omofitete ya maame Chief Justice Torkonoo suspended Chief Justice Torkonoo found die so na Nsem-Pii atifo and Nsem-Pii ayefo bekaya through any press conference or the two dwa our Sh0cks the whole Ghana for nyina ete yen say even kra NDC amanyoko ne head committee Excellency John Dramani Mahama ate ne hwehwe ne nsemu no ye head committee ni ko bi omotena edi asem na eti na num sem no kra entwaye na eho kra omode ne kwa omtututuo bi wo ho na so omtututuo na aya eka no tete no nyoma bi a esisi ya entwaye na two the whole Chief Justice mu suspended Chief Justice mu say oko committee na omoma emema ana ebone search enti kade say ode anka the whole and Chief Justice mu ade kenu kwa say ka bema mu kwa na ka ebone search say mu de enoma bi say ana bibi say ato ne so kra enu kwa say ka moma bema ene ebone search nemu ka ne yonko oba na o say nka ebone search na mo say tututuo e wo committee ba bia omotena edi na asem no no kra na ko sa pe fair hearing say ka obe allow na video ananse bibia ababonten na Ghana for ehu de ekoso committee nyina enso NDC amanyoko through His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ema kwan ema neoma we nyina enkoso ana ema committee no entrance a enko de ono ankasa Chief Justice Torkonoo epe ai na de menomo kasa ide wa Sh0cks the whole Ghana and the screen no say suspended Chief Justice Torkonoo demands $10 million from Ghana as compensation for reputational and moral damages in her case filed at ECOWAS court.
Suspended Chief Justice Ayoba Penny Gertrude Araba Isaba Torkonoo wano enene omampeni ejina Ghana yama mrane so 1992 constitution article 146 clause 6 no eso ninina emrane ma ne ho kwan pefe esese omampeni saka tumikrata anaso omampeni saka krata bi kire Chief Justice oti edwa so enema bi nkoyi enema bi ntwayi a se wo so edema Council of State na Council of State nso ehwehwema no mu se ensuo bi wom enyinaso bi wom pa na eni omampani esese wo pa committee na committee ne tena se adwuma hwese Chief Justice ye pamono ananse won tena se na onye n'adwuma eno ena bra committee efi o madwuma se Justice Gabriel's court ya poama committee ni titire ni din ena ya de toso eni ti sa committee na adwuma no nkakra ena omu efi ase committee na adwuma no mo fi ase Chief Justice ababonte di kan kra etro krata ebeka che Ghana fo nyina ese ni edikan bebia ye sa adwuma ne kra no ohun ni se enkoye committee ni bebe yede ma won kokotena no wose okwa ya tututuo kakra ewo ho enti ya de a ekakai ni tete no ekakai ni niam bia ense ne mfata eno achi cross ho suspended Chief Justice okoduru ho ase ebo ni search ase mema bia ebo ni search no obi person de ne nse ewura ba bia ense na emfata eno achi ose ne lawyer enema bia wo esese ye ma ne lawyer kwan na ne lawyer ye no kra ye ma no sa akwanya no ose ni kunu ye ma kwan ese ni kunu na se busuani bi mpo eni nachi na sam ni bi pem na anka ya krokro no nkakra ewo eho eno ene nsema Chief Justice odi kan edi release ba abonten ebebo Ghana fo amane ase Ghana fo ankenkan Ghana fo antie eno achikra eno san be press conference ebebu mu che Ghana fo nyina se wedie mekasa obechirechire mu pa e de che Ghana for ena Chief Justice ankasa akọ eye ECOWAS Court of Justice akọ ese yetietia ne fa ahodie so na ne fa ahodie so na yetietia no emra wo ho pa Angel kase abawram ECOWAS Court of Justice no atemuafo a ete so e wo ho ne tie de oye pie mu panin pa wo ho tetitirani e wo ho eye Justice Honorable Justice Ricardo Claudia Montero awono efi Kevet Vice President eye Justice Senyo Mohammed Koroma wono so efi Sierra Leone ena ya Ghana ni dehye pa Justice Edward Amuakon Asante na anu ya otwe ECOWAS court ni nyina eba manga na mu ha ena de otosu bio oye member eye Justice Watara wono efi Cote d'Ivoire ene ye Justice Dub Atipo wono so efi Nigeria na sansem we gise enya lawyer ni mapa wono ene betimi a kire ye mu pa mayate asese ne Chief Justice eye ne kwanso anu no anase afomu mran ewo baby private legal practitioner eye Gomda Abdul Aziz wono ene ye ne eba besua de ewo emra we hu kansa mame mu adwo emu akwaba mizi se baabi awo no eno anu no anamo Chief Justice suspended Chief Justice watui mamini kan bisa se ye ne Ghana fo e bisa se usomu sen eno anu no
mi jiwo so me semichi na ukifoni na mtio amajiwe mchomo na okay bacha utimeka
kansa bacha odem meton kapa
okay well as it stands here the extent of the information here in terms of Chief Justice keeps our file of ECOWAS now is only limited to what the Deputy Attorney General Honorable Dr. Justice Nsem-Pii I just share my public because I don't think we have records or copies of the contents of Adia Honorable Chief Justice Nsem-Pii or suspended Chief Justice no actually in the court. And if you look at information the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice and Deputy Attorney General shared with the public, basically, or share say Chief Justice needs challenge the legality of the suspension law, which from where limits now is a constitutional matter. And that's the ECOWAS court no almost jurisdiction to entertain and hear matters of human rights violations. For now, we need share the exact nature of Chief Justice in case because those matters have not been public yet. But relying on the information Deputy Attorney General has shared to the public, I understand what we say, or challenging the legality of the suspension. And the power to suspend the Chief Justice, the Afema Constitution has provided for, and has provided the procedure by which president who has the power to suspend the Chief Justice, who is a subject of a removal proceeding. So the procedural requirements are laid down clearly in the Constitution. And the question you ask yourself is challenging the legality of the suspension as provided under Article 146 of the Constitution, to which the President of Ghana had the power to bring. Is that challenge to be done within our local courts or within a community court like ECOWAS court? And as mentioned earlier, ECOWAS court, in addition to some other judicial law, they have the power to determine human rights violation. Is this issue a human rights violation? And it's based on what the Deputy Attorney General has shared with the public. I don't think it's a human rights violation. And if it is not a human rights violation and it's an issue challenging the constitutional authority, clearly, every court by its establishment is regulated by a law. And ECOWAS court, no, the jurisdiction is established by the ECOWAS treaty and accompanying protocols, which confers its jurisdiction. And jurisdiction is basically the power of a court to determine certain matters. And the law no manu and confer a particular power in the court to determine a pattern. The court cannot go into that matter.
Okay.
And if you look at the jurisdiction conferred by the ECOWAS Treaty and the accompanying protocols that establish the ECOWAS Court of Justice, determining the validity of constitutional injunctions and constitutional powers of domestic domestic in nature or national sovereign countries is not part of our jurisdiction. So ECOWAS Court is meant to determine whether the President of Ghana has exercised his power under Article 146 correctly or otherwise. Common legal power. The only power they might have as it relates to the individual is where there are allegations of violations of human rights.
Council Minchawano ba Osha the Deputy Attorney General Justice Nsem-Pii eposti yana. Part ni bi kasa ese suspended Chief Justice se yetieti anefa ahudie so human right. Na yanhwe ne said ye wo kan agana fo etie wi nyina no se yampa se yetieti anefa ahudie so na ECOWAS court wo jurisdiction ebetimi affect ye o betimi akasa da bi mu tietia ma me ne fa ahudie so ntinu munyai na wo metena se nya na adwuma bibisa betimi asi.
Okay, this is on general human rights violation. Of course, the ECOWAS court, community court has the jurisdiction. And even in our within our domestic setting as Ghana, not every matter borders on human rights. Not every allegation of constitutional violation constitutes human rights violation. And like I said, we have not had the benefit of the content of the application or the process of filing was economic and ECOWAS court. As relying on what the deputy attorney general can, he is basically, and if I may, I think what the deputy attorney general said was that, and I'm quoting the deputy attorney general, that essentially the leadership agreed that by a suspension, she, another court, has effectively been removed from her official capacity without a final determination, impairing her right to function and serve in a position she was constitutionally appointed to. And far right now, make reference to it's a right created under Article 146, or it's a right created under the Constitution which confers powers on her. Then, one can also govern the president's power to suspend a chief subject of this removal proceedings. Please remember. Now, make it very clear that that's
Kanzo wadaruma onna no kakra bi ma yɛ sɛ anoma bi twetwetwa wa homa anima nti emu nhyɛda enkoyi.
Hello,
kasa menhwɛ.
Yeah,
me pa cha fe wodem wadaruma wodem TNT o.
The point I was making was that yes, the paper court has jurisdiction in the human rights violation. But if you look at the nature of the plan, okay, before it was completed by the deputy president, my view is that the ECOWAS community court only decisions in the matter because it borders on challenging the authority of the president to suspend her. And the ECOWAS community court doesn't have jurisdiction to determine whether our president has complied with the constitution or not. Only that jurisdiction is a sovereign matter for which our courts have jurisdiction to determine on such matters. And the court in Ghana, for the purpose of determining whether the constitution has been complied with or not, is the Supreme Court. And clearly, Chief Justice is currently before the Supreme Court, challenging her suspension, challenging the removal and all those things. And I am very convinced that the Supreme Court is competent enough to make that determination. And I know she has supervised or she has presided over the Supreme Court for some time, and I'm very convinced she is so aware that the Supreme Court is competent. But on challenging whether the suspension is valid or not, and impairing her from functioning as a Chief Justice, I'm sorry to say that based on my review and understanding of the rules and the laws are establishing on manner establishing ECOWAS court now, I'll be surprised to hear that they have entertained that matter. Clearly, I expect them to say that, well, if you are complaining of human rights violations, they are here to hear you out. But if you are challenging your suspension unfortunately, I don't think the law that established that ECOWAS Community Court gives them the power to make inquiries into the legality or otherwise of the suspension by the president for which he's complaining about.
Okay, as a council metiasie here, and Yama Mienu and Awaka, Ayatiasie. Near the kind say Chief Justice, Kwani de Wako, Cecilia, Deputy Attorney General Casadie, Nese Oko, Nemum so Kose, on Tiasie, a Quaya ye faso, eyi ni to akonya ayeye ni mu hwehwemu a ende ECOWAS court ni betimi aka chenze ma me anse wayera kwan wafom kwan na emum okono koka se ebia ye tietia me fa ahodie so ayebeka se ne human right and I trampled upon dia ene omobetie na asem no na omatie die wo mu potinti a yetete na se yetete ne fa ahodie so sa bebepe na pese yete ase
exactly no
na ebetimi abase ne fa ahodie na o ka se yetete aso no ombehwem etie na asem awie na ma confirm se ane yetie ma me ni nkurobo nyina awie a yehunu se Ghana ban ene Ghana fo nyina mu tete ntinia mu ye no munyai eno emra ne ma ho kwan na omu make ne pronouncement a ebetimi abase esese yesesa bibi ana ye bibi mana saa ne fa ahodie na ye bubu so no ye bejai.
In respect of the human rights violation.
Yes, in respect of the human rights violation.
Yes, in respect of human rights violations, the ECOWAS court has the power to make those determinations. And there's something very interesting about the ECOWAS court. Unlike other international courts, and even in Africa, there's a court known as the African Court for Human and People Rights. In those courts, there's a pending human rights case within your local jurisdiction. The court would not entertain your matter, even if it's human rights violation. But for ECOWAS court, that one, at least based on the decisions in the past and also the law that established the court. Even if there's a pending human rights case, the court will still entertain you. So for ECOWAS court, yes, they can look into the matter and make the determination if it is about human rights. But at the end of the day, if they make the decision, enforcement becomes another issue because it becomes a state interstate relational issues, because at the end of the day, any individuals know that would ensure compliance and enforcement of the judgment. It is the institution of ECOWAS and its member states. And there's always that political question that, yes, if you have a judgment and the state for which the judgment is won against refuses to comply, what is the way forward? But of course, it depends on Ghana's own reputation under the international community. And we live in an era where we want an international community that respects international law. And I am very confident that Ghana, for the past years, has demonstrated that they are leaders in Africa in ensuring rule of law. So if they make a determination, and that determination is to the effect that the government has focused in some way, I'm sure through the appropriate agencies, we can ensure compliance and see what happens.
Right. Council ma ye na wasepa na ye mfa osi a obre no adaja wenya e dia man yesua ade e wo nchen. Private legal practitioner Gomda Abdul Aziz lawyer ni ma papa wono ene Chief Justice edi oman Ghana oman nyina enyo mampani o we Ghana or the Ghana ena akopiem wo ECOWAS Court of Justice osi etieti anefa ahodie so we ne nsema Deputy Attorney General and Minister for Justice Sh0cks wabe posti ewo ni Facebook ni edi ho nkomo nti niema mienu ena obetimi dia court na baako ena ode kwa ene ECOWAS court ni betia ne ebetie ni yie pa etimi dia anu yaba enne se Ghana fo nyina yetieti anefa ahodie so meni Eugene kura ye ka ho bi ti you ene say ye de ka yenkoye ne